This week on You Should Be Watching, we talk about the Justice League Snyder Cut. It's real and it's coming to HBO Max in 2021. Speaking of HBO Max, what is it? We explain the new streaming service. Also, we tell you what shows and movies to watch at launch. That's all this week on You Should Be Watching. Welcome to a new episode of You Should Be Watching. I'm joined again by my crew. We've got Greg and Ryan here. Hey guys, how's it going?
What's up?
It's going well. Good to see you guys again.
Good to see you too. We just had a 3-day weekend. The three of us got to play some Mario Kart, so that was fun. Ryan's getting pretty aggressive.
I didn't get last place.
We're just talking about that.
That's the silver line. I did not get last place all the time.
That's right.
A couple times I get fifth place, but
you're
I'm
getting better, man. So we did that. We had a 3-day weekend. And it's just weird because we're all sheltered in place still. So it's what do you do during a 3-day weekend, right? So how did you guys spend your weekends?
It's did you go outside or not? That's pretty much how your weekend goes. Yeah. We went out for a minute, but we didn't go out for too long because we're close to we're in SF, so not Frisco or not San Fran. We're in SF at the moment.
Get it right, people.
It's cool. It's super hot. It's getting hot everywhere right now. I know that much.
And we're a city that's not really prepared for heat. Nobody has air conditioning. We were all just talking about how we miss the office for the fact that it had air conditioning. I know none of us have any, so we're kind of struggling with that, but it's all right. Ryan, how was your 3-day weekend?
Mine was good. You can hear my puppy Finn barking in the background. He finally finished all of his shots. His 3 rounds of shots, so now we can actually take him on small walks. Go outside to little areas around the house, and he actually doesn't last really long because he's kind of there he is right now in the shot. He gets kind of scared and tired, and then halfway through he'll just bark at me and want me to carry him the rest of the way. So it's a little bit of a workout, but it's fun. He's only 25 pounds right now. He's not huge. He's still a puppy.
Yeah.
So.
But
I've had
so
Bernese Mountain
now.
Dogs. I've had a bunch of Bernese Mountain Dogs, so I know they get lazy very quickly.
Yeah, he literally motions for me hey, pick me up now. Pick me up. We're gonna, I don't want to walk any further. So I'm okay, great.
He's got a lot to say today also.
Yeah.
All right, so let's talk about what we've been watching in the last week. We've had a little bit of downtime. So Greg, what have you been watching?
This week I watched Homecoming Season 2 because I loved Season 1. I'm not going to lie, if you guys are really captivated by Season 1, you keep your expectations in check for this season. It's great writing. It's executed brilliantly through the camera. The lens, everything through the lens is great. It felt like I was watching Dude, Where's My Car, directed by Alfred Hitchcock. But I can't stress this enough. There really isn't much there. It's very thin this season. It almost felt, I don't know, I'm going to look up everything. Immediately after I finished the season, I was like, what happened? Because it feels like, one, it's very short. It's 7 episodes, I think, or 7 to 8. It's 7 episodes around it's just about the 30 minutes each. Last season was 10 episodes. This season, it feels like you're watching if you can get through it in probably a day and a half if you wanted to. If you wanted to just take your time and you go through it through a weekend, I would recommend that. But at the end of the day, it's just a long 3.5 hour long movie for what it is. It doesn't have much in there.
Correct me if I'm wrong. It's a departure from Season 1, right? It's completely different.
No,
almost completely different.
Nope, not completely different. It's without going into spoilers, I will say that Julia Roberts' character. It was already announced that she did not return, but the storyline follows what happened after that. The aftermath of a few questions we have for a few characters of whether or not what they know about the project at Geist. But it seems like this season just took its time, and it felt like I was watching a prequel to Season 2.
How does it feel without Julia Roberts?
Oh, it's fine. It's totally fine. Because, again, everything's done through the edit.
You enjoying Janelle Monáe's performance? Is she good in it?
She's great. She's amazing. But with that said, all the characters, they really don't have much to do. It's all done through the edit and just the camera, not much exposition. So I love that. But the thing is, the story itself, there's not much there. I wanted more to say anything. It's great, but I just wanted a little bit more. They kind of it's for whatever reason, I don't know what happened, but the story has a great ending that I cannot talk about. But this all feels like it could have been done in maybe like 1 or 2 episodes, and then we could have had a whole nother story go from there, because it seems like they kind of went back to give you the same. You already know the twist of everything from last season. There's nothing new here with those twists, but it does have a great finale. I will say that. They got a great finale.
Cool. Awesome. Ryan, what are you watching?
So we talked about it last time. I finished The Last Dance. I think a lot of us did. Excellent documentary series on ESPN. That was a lot of fun, and it kind of gave me my sports fix, since we have no sports at the moment. And then I also talked about this last time, but I finished Dave, which I found really good. It kind of surprised me how much I enjoyed it. It wasn't just when you think of Lil Dicky, I think I mentioned it before, kind of weird rap lyrics. You don't know if he's being serious. He's kind of being like making fun of white rappers, kind of up and coming white rappers. But like, it actually had a little heart to it. And there's a couple episodes that kind of went on a tangent and kind of dealt with some of the characters, like mental illness and kind of just the struggles of people with different backgrounds. And apparently the actor actually does suffer from being bipolar, and it was all like the whole subject matter was about that, and it was actually really touching. So I was like kind of shocked. I wasn't prepared for that kind of tangent and that kind of like direction for the season to go. So I highly recommend it, even if maybe Lil Dicky or like his type of music, kind of like you're kind of turned off by it. I thought it was really awesome, and it ended on a great high note, a nice little like freestyle at the end. It kind of channeled a little bit of like 8 Mile kind of feeling, but it had like some heart to it. It wasn't just like, silly, jokes for the sake of just making fun of people or like that. So,
Cool.
I'm definitely considering it now that people have finished it and have said like, the whole thing's worth watching, because that's what I wanted to know ultimately.
Yeah,
is it worth the whole ride?
Yeah, if you watch, I kind of you have to stick with it, right? Like, and it's like half-hour episodes, so it's not like two. It's it kind of moves pretty fast, and I know it got picked up for a second season because it was so it got such great ratings and critically acclaimed. So I think give it a shot if you want to go on like a fun ride. It's pretty entertaining.
So going back to The Last Dance, since we all watched that, how did you feel that it closed up as a whole, and what was your take on like how everyone was represented? Because I saw some other players in the NBA kind of making their own comments on social media about how it was represented and how Jordan was put in this positive light. What's your take on it?
I think it's difficult. Obviously, Jordan, some people have issue with like Jordan being an executive producer and kind of, co-signing and giving the okay on all this, but you're not going to get this story without Jordan's approval. So, and I don't think that he meddled too much in it. Like he pretty much like a lot of stuff was in there. I mean, I think that if you a lot of things that made the cut, you'd be like, wow, I can't believe Jordan like let that be said about him, or let that, that kind of truth, that side of him be shown. And I think unfairly, some of the players that aren't really enjoying like how they came across in the documentary, like Horace Grant or Scottie Pippen. I mean, I do see their side, and think that kind of some people, when you're playing with Jordan, you just kind of get pushed to the side, and that person, Michael Jordan, like owns the spotlight, and it's just part of the deal with him. Like similar like Kobe Bryant. It's like some of these guys are very polarizing. They're not like the nicest teammates, the greatest teammates, but they're like on a different level of just like drive and motivation, and they're not there to make friends, right? They're just there to win at all costs. Right. So I was talking with Matt Elfring in our Slack, and we were just both kind of saying like, wow, Horace Grant really got the short end of the stick here, because he
underrated.
He was a huge part of the Chicago Bulls, especially in the early 90s, that first run, and to just kind of, he's like a side like player or a role player, but like he still made like a huge difference and got Jordan, helped get Jordan those championships. So, it sucks. You want even more time to kind of hear from everyone and hear a lot more from people, and like there's just not enough time to kind of do that. And like I said before, I mentioned this, like I would have been fine with another like 10 hours of this, just interview everybody from every perspective. Yeah, and I'm like, there's no shortage of opinions that I would have like loved to find out and hear about, because it kind of paints a better picture of Michael Jordan, the man and the player.
Yeah, agreed. Greg, do you think that we'll get any other documentaries in this same vein about any other part of the NBA or different sports?
I don't know about the NBA, but they're doing one for Tom Brady. I just found that out. So get ready for any sports star. Peyton Manning's probably going to want one. Who else? No, actually, Manning won't do this. Man, I think he's not going to do it. But I feel like Brett Favre, he guaranteed he'll do one. Now back to the NBA. I would like to see KG. I want to see a Kevin Garnett story. That's the one. That one's for like, hey, let's get HBO, let's get Showtime to do it.
Oh yeah, that'd be fun. I mean, the key with these is that you kind of have to, if you're the athlete and it's as hard as it is, you kind of have to like step to the side and let some like maybe unsavory things come to light and be told like truthfully, right?
Yeah.
So it doesn't come across like an infomercial for yourself, you know? Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Like a biopic, any biopic almost. I hate them all. This is one thing about me. I absolutely despise almost all biopics, even all the way from like, I love Ray for the music, but I mean, at the end of the day, there's still the stories. These stories aren't real. Walk the line. They're giving you a little part of it. It's not the real story of these people. So you got to take it with a grain of salt. There's too many times I walk out of a theater and I hear people saying to themselves, that actually happened. They're just like that. And it did not. No, it did not.
Just like that.
No, it did not.
Yeah. Very true. So I finished Upload. We had a video on
Nice.
GameSpot Universe from Chris Hayner, who said that it was a must-watch, and I agree. I think it's a lot of fun. I finished the entire season, and I was looking forward to every single new episode. I really enjoyed it. And so it's from one of the creators of The Office, and it stars Robbie and Mel, and it's really, really fun. But it had some heart to it, and it had some sci-fi elements to it, and I really think it was definitely worth watching. Have either of you checked it out at all?
That's the guy who's his brother, Green Arrow.
His brother
right?
is Green Arrow. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have it on my list.
Dave and Upload are next.
Yeah, I want to take a look at it. It's
Yeah.
it's definitely on my list because I've heard great things, and Chris said it was fantastic, one of the best newer shows.
Yeah, and it's a quick watch too. Also 30-minute episodes, sometimes shorter. But yeah, the whole season was a breeze to get through, and now they're gonna have a season 2, so I'm looking forward to that.
Awesome.
All right, now on to this just in. So the first one is a PSA because Uncut Gems is now on Netflix in the US. I didn't know it was coming to Netflix. I'm very pleased that it's there because now I can watch it for free. So this is, if you're not familiar with it, it's Adam Sandler's one of his best performances. I'll leave it to you guys since you saw it. Do you think it's his best performance ever or like best in many years?
Since Punch Drunk Love, and those two roles can battle it out. I even like his role in Spanglish. It's great there too. Whenever you give Adam Sandler something to work with, he will act. The thing is, he's a great actor. He'll do it when he wants to, and that's about it.
When he wants to.
We knew he had this gear to get to, but it's kind of fun to see him work with like younger directorial talent, like the Safdie brothers. And the vision that they had, it took them years. I think it took them like 10 years to make this film because they had different rewrites of the script and then different players involved.
Yep.
Yeah.
Like Kobe at one point.
Yeah, Kobe at one point,
Wow.
Amari Stoudemire at one point, but it turned out to be Kevin Garnett. And I think the one thing that when I watched this movie, I mean, Greg, you and I saw a screening of it, and we were it's one of those anxiety-induced, like, just roller coaster, like, nonstop. You and I were kind of, like, squirming in our chairs, like, looking, like, couldn't look at the screen, like. But I like that. I like that feeling where I'm like, this is going to end horribly, and I'm here to watch it. And his performance is, if anything, just for the performance of Adam Sandler alone, it's incredible.
So damn good.
But that's also a fair warning if you're not comfortable with that type of thing.
So the Safdie brothers were waiting for this moment for it to hit Netflix because you knew damn well everyone was going to go, oh, look, an Adam Sandler movie. Let's check this one out. Yes. And
but
all
what
they
is
got
interesting is a lot of the thumbnails on Netflix or on social media, it's of Kevin Garnett and the actual gem,
that makes sense.
Yeah, it's kind of and to be
hide
honest,
them.
like the sports, as a sports fan, it's very, very realistic. I mean, some of the gambling's a little bit crazy and far-fetched, but it feels very, very rooted in real life, like the whole universe that they created here. And the fact that they even used like real life people who aren't even actors for some of the side performances here, for some of the, in the Diamond District and all that kind of stuff. And it just feels really authentic. And if you liked Good Time, which I loved, this was maybe not quite as good as I enjoyed Good Time, but it was like it's in similar vein and spirit. And
same roller coaster,
no brainer. You have to watch it if you have Netflix right now.
Got it. Yeah, I guess I finally will watch it, even though I'm afraid of the anxiety-induced.
Yes, it's intense. Again, well, I want to stress this enough. It's intense.
Oh my goodness. All right. I'll watch it. Okay. The next story we have is that the Justice League Snyder Cut is a thing, and it's releasing on HBO Max in 2021. It's
Later,
a thing, guys.
Bye. Peace.
Snyder
Cut's real.
It's actually
Turns
happening.
out it's real.
The internet made it happen.
Wow. Yeah.
This is crazy.
Everyone's been raging for the Snyder Cut, and here it is. It's coming. So this is a different cut of the movie from the original director, Zack Snyder, and he announced it'll be debuting on HBO Max in 2021. He said that it's an entirely new thing, in quotes, and that in terms of what the theatrical cut was, it was probably 1/4 of what he did. So he left the project, and he had an unfinished cut that had no visual effects or post-production work done to it, but after a screening that they had for Warner Brothers and DC executives, they were interested, so they're moving forward with this. The timeline's a little foggy. Snyder said that he's reached out to some of the cast, letting them know they might be called upon to help complete the project, and also they're having negotiations with those who can complete the visual effects and post-production. So it's happening.
Wow.
Yeah. What do you guys think of this?
I mean, it's pretty nuts how
Yeah.
a movie can just kind of change and the process of filmmaking, like a whole different entity can come out of it. And then like by popular demand, and I think the landscape of us kind of being stuck at home and now all these streaming services popping up, it's like kind of the perfect storm for something like this to happen.
Agreed. Also, just about the format, we're not sure how it's going to be presented. Like, it could be a 4-hour cut of the film, or it could be a 6-episode chapter, as if it were like a TV series. Greg, what do you think of that? What would you prefer?
Sure, I don't care, honestly, if you gave me either or, because this movie has now taken on a life of its own in a different way, no matter what happens here. To look at it through a lens of like, oh, I thought it was great, it should be, to take your critic glasses on and look at the film. It's going to be tough to do it that way no matter what happens, because people have been waiting for this film forever. So no matter what happens, they're going to look at it. You could have Henry Cavill's face could be coming off of his mustache can be moving all over his face, and someone's going to say 10 out of 10 greatest movie of all time. It does not matter at this point. So I can't wait to see just what the hell it is and how much are they. It's a waste of money. I mean, that's the other thing here too. Yeah,
so it might cost more than $30 million to finish. Apparently, is that
cool? Not my money. So you know what? Go do whatever you guys want to do. It's not my money. You want to make it burn? I mean, it's just I can see the Joker now burning that cash. It's the same thing.
Oh my gosh!
But it kind of makes sense for HBO to do this and have like I know it might not sound like it, but it's like their own tentpole event almost. It's like their reason. It's just the reason for you to download the app and sign up for it. And if you get sucked into that, I mean, we all know Justice League was not a good film. I mean, Mike Rougeau is gonna kill me for saying this. It was one of his favorites, but and the chances are that this is not going to be that good, but it's still kind of one of those things where you have to you want to watch it even though it might be a train wreck. Like you want to see what's going to happen. You kind of want to see how it's going to come together.
I'm going to watch it day one. I got to see what happens. I got to watch
We're all going to watch it. It might be great. Let's not just leave that out there. It might be great. Films are subjective. Hey, it might be great. But from what we saw prior, it's an uphill battle to get the critics to come around to this. And I already see the arguments from fans and critics saying they don't love real movies. I can see all of this now playing out, and I just want to hit the eject button and cast off and say, goodbye, guys. You take care of this one. But for now, let's see where this goes. It's happening. It's real. There's a Snyder Cut. Okay.
It'll be interesting.
Get ready, guys.
It'll be interesting to see how other filmmakers, how other studios might approach this.
Or we're seeing David Ayer.
Every director has their own cut. Every director has like their vision of what they did, and the studios jump in and they kind of tear stuff apart. Some people obviously have full control, but
Suicide Squad.
Few. Yeah, and it's like so who gets the opportunity to remake their stuff and remix it and fix it?
I want to see a Suicide Squad cut. Yeah, I think a Suicide Squad would be cool because, again, that cut was done by if I remember correctly, it was done by not a music video, a trailer company, editing company took over pretty much the majority of that film. So I don't know, give it back to the director and see what happens.
If
they
felt
have
like
time,
a music video
sure.
or a trailer too.
Yep, yes it did, from beginning to end.
Oh boy, was it forgettable! But I'm looking forward to James Gunn's The Suicide Squad, though. I think that'll be better for sure. Yes. Yeah. All right, on to our last story of the day. It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia has reached 15 seasons. Wow. It's been renewed for season 15, and now it's the longest-running live-action sitcom by season count in American TV history. That is bananas, guys. Because I know I've seen my share of sitcoms that have run their course a little too long, and then there have been some that were gone too soon. But what do you think makes It's Always Sunny so special that it has lasted the test of time?
I think it's just the group. They're friends, creative partners before any of this happened, and they've been able to kind of keep that kind of community of creativity together and intact, and have it feels like they have a lot of fun doing what they do, and the freedom to do kind of anything and get kind of wacky. I kind of fell off the show a few years back, but I remember, it was some of the funniest. It's some of the funniest stuff ever, and it's kind of shocking that it's been around that long. I was shocked to hear that.
You could pick it back up right now too. Yeah. It's still as funny.
Yeah,
I've seen episodes, and my partners watch episodes in the background. I absolutely adore that show. So it can keep going. I think that also says something great about just FX as a whole. For that show to stay around this long. We're seeing the same thing happen with American Horror Story. So this season is probably not going to happen this year. So okay, don't worry about that. You'll be back next year with another show added on to it. What We Do in the Shadows is coming back as well for a third season. That show already feels like it's going to have 10 seasons. So I can't wait.
It easily could.
FX seems to kind of surround themselves and kind of support artists that have a unique and particular vision, and they kind of step out of the way, right? It feels like, at least as for the consumer,
with devs,
with devs, with Atlanta, with what was it, Lodge 49? I never watched it, but I heard great things about it, and it was kind of quirky and out there. They kind of let people bring an idea, bring a show, and kind of they created this very, very, very cool kind of curated level of show that we can't really find anywhere else.
Yeah, it's really good. But yeah, as far as what the creators think of this, Rob McElhenney said, "For us, we have a short checklist. Do we still enjoy it? Are we still having fun? Are we still stretching ourselves creatively? And is the audience still there? It seems like all the boxes keep getting checked, so we should keep coming back." Makes sense. Yeah, as long as they're having a good time.
Awesome.
Just keep this train going. I just wonder how many seasons they could do. Yeah, money.
I don't know how.
I just wonder how long this could go.
Get to 20. Just get to 20.
You're almost there.
Try to outlive SVU.
Years.
Try to outlive SVU. That's going to be tough. I don't know if they're going to be doing it. I think Mariska Hargitay, she's already, I think, the longest running TV character. She beat Frasier a while back, too. So I think they're going to keep it going. And now that we have Stabler coming out soon, I hope it's in hard R when that finally happens. But
I hope so, too.
So that could run a long time, too. So I can't wait.
All right, that leads us to the last section of the show, which is You Should Be Watching. And this week we're telling you what you should be watching on HBO Max. If you decide to get HBO Max, that leads us to our first question. What is HBO Max, right? So it's a new streaming service. It's from Warner Media, and so it's not just HBO content. It also has content from Warner Brothers, Crunchyroll, DC, TNT, and more. We have a full list of what's included on GameSpot, but it's different from HBO Go, and it's different from HBO Now. HBO Go is for cable subscribers. HBO Now is a standalone HBO streaming service of just HBO content. If you're still with me, HBO Max is new, but if you're wondering if you should get it, if you already have HBO Now, don't get anything because you already have it. So those who subscribe to HBO Max prior to the launch will also get HBO Now, and current HBO Now subscribers will get HBO Max at launch. So that's the good news if you've already got HBO Now, which we do. So that's exciting. So there is not a tiered pricing system here. It's ad-free, and the base cost, the only cost is $15 a month, which is kind of steep because there's a lot of streaming services, right? So you kind of have to pick and choose which ones you want. They're going to have this on phones, tablets, Mac, PC, streaming media players, smart TVs, and game consoles. So that leads me to the question of, would you guys actually get it in addition to all the other streaming services, or would you swap one out? What would you drop to get HBO Max?
Oh man. At this moment, I don't know if I would drop anything. I feel like it was. Yeah, they're gonna have to convince me, because I'm at a point now where I have everything set up the way I like it. A big TV. I know I sound like I'm a boomer right now. I like no change.
I totally understand. I've got my apps already downloaded. I just switch. I only have these few things that I look at.
No, they have a good catalog. I'll say that much. And I will say this is a first world problem right now. Still, is that 4K? Even though that's a big turn off for me. If they announce there's not much 4K at the moment, so I'm kind of just. I'll wait. If I didn't already have it, because I have Hulu's plan, so it's attached to, but HBO's attached to Hulu, and apparently it's just going to switch right over to HBO Max under that account, so I don't have to do anything at all. So we'll see where it goes, and on top of that, we'll go into it later of what's on there that we were waiting for, so I won't say anything now, but there's one show that, yes, I will watch it because of that one show.
Ryan, are you immediately sold on this, or are you skeptical? If you didn't have HBO Now.
No, I think if you didn't have HBO Now, it's a steep ask, I think. I think $15, which is like the highest end of Netflix, right? $15.
Yes.
It's like $1 less than the highest. Yeah.
Right. Yeah, the highest was 4K Netflix.
Right. So I mean that's a lot. And then once, like you're talking about, at a time like this when everyone's stuck at home and job security is kind of sketchy and scary right now, the climate, and if you have Netflix, you have Hulu, you have this adds up. Now it's back to your regular cable bill that everyone wants to get away from. But if you already have HBO Now, and like me, I grew up kind of with all the HBO properties, with The Sopranos, with The Wire, with Game of Thrones. Like I've loved everything that HBO has produced in house, and now all the Warner Brothers stuff. All that, they even have Looney Tunes on this. I mean, it's incredible. They have, and while I'm more of like a Marvel person, so I have the Disney Plus, and it's much cheaper to find some Marvel stuff. The DC stuff, it's different and it's interesting, and it's kind of, it's not always the same as good quality of the Marvel stuff. I prefer the Marvel, but it's still there's a lot there to watch.
It's getting there. It's getting better.
And I think they're gonna have
Doom Patrol is pretty good.
Yeah, they're gonna have some classic like Criterion Channel stuff too. So I mean, it's a vast library, and I think that they're gonna curate like what's the best stuff and kind of slowly release it, instead of just kind of turning on a button and saying here's everything that we have. They're gonna kind of slowly release stuff as they see fit.
You mentioned Doom Patrol, Greg. So I hadn't even watched it, so I'm excited that I'll be able to finally watch it, because it was just one less thing to worry about. I didn't get DC Universe, but season 2 is going to drop on HBO Max on June 25th. So I've heard plenty of good things, and now I can finally watch it. So I'm glad that I'll be able to access this DC stuff. Was it a good show?
Yes, Doom Patrol, of course. That was their. I'm trying to think of something else at the time. Umbrella Academy came out right when Doom Patrol did, or around the same time. And sadly enough, Umbrella Academy didn't keep my attention the way Doom Patrol did. The characters were absolutely fleshed out 100%. And on top of that, Brendan Fraser was amazing. Everyone, the cast from top to bottom on season 1 was pretty damn good. I can't wait for season 2. So with that, I will say that I am happy that they've moved everything over to from DC. I don't know what's left, because I know Swamp Thing is like hit or miss. I loved it, but I don't think it's coming back. I think they did cancel it after the first go.
I think so too.
I think they canceled it after the pilot, actually. But
rest in peace.
Yeah, sorry. So I don't know what the hell the rest of their slate's going to look like in the future, especially with the CW stuff, because I think they're going to try to
they're adding CW stuff to HBO Max.
Yeah, and the characters are going to start to interact with each other at some point in the future as well. So it could get even more confusing or great. It could be something like Marvel. We don't know yet.
Or it opens up a whole new world of crossovers.
I don't know if that crossover is going to work with Doom Patrol and anything and any character from CW. Maybe Constantine would work, but I don't know about anybody else. But yeah, this is
Riverdale.
Yes, Riverdale Doom Patrol. Let's do it.
Riverdale Doom Patrol. I love
Archie's dead. And then you need to go get Sabrina though from Netflix
Sabrina.
To go get him. So now okay.
All right, Ryan, what are you recommending people watch at launch on HBO Max if they do decide to get it?
Yeah, so I was checking out this list, and I mean, there's tons of like classic films to watch or rewatch if you've already seen them. But Citizen Kane, Casablanca, Seven Samurai, Bonnie and Clyde, The Shining. For American Horror Story fans who just followed our breakdowns on Freak Show, they have the film Freaks, the 1932 film that is basically completely inspires the season of Freak Show. That'd be one that I would recommend. And of course, like I mentioned, the series, I mean, now's the time to rewatch like The Sopranos. Deadwood, who has my favorite actor of all time, Timothy Olyphant in it.
Yes.
Yes. The Olyphant.
I'm not mad at that.
Deadwood.
Nope.
Coming to Mandalorian season 2, Timothy Olyphant.
Hell yeah, one of the best ever. The Wire, of course, it's a classic, one of the best TV shows ever. And I think that Greg mentioned this off camera before. The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, the entire show. I mean, come on, that's like a no-brainer to watch.
That's going to be the new Office. You're going to put that on the background all the time now. It's replacing The Office for everybody, I think, or at least our age range. And also another one on that list that you didn't bring up that I'm upset about is Mama's Family. That's now on there. So they've won the streaming war. As far as I'm concerned, they've won. It's over now. Mama's Family's, she's home. It's happened.
Yeah.
Everyone.
I love Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. I could watch that in syndication all day, every day. I could just tune into any episode at any time, and I love it. But also, like, they have those very special episodes too that like just make you cry or like.
Don't say it. Don't do it. Don't talk about it. I know it's one you're talking about. Don't do it.
I won't do it. I can't do it, but I will rewatch those and I will cry again every single time. It always gets me.
Damn.
All right. I also want to recommend one of the originals that's coming out at launch. There's going to be 6 originals announced for launch, but my favorite one is the Not Too Late Show with Elmo. I love late night shows, and this one looks adorable.
Cute. Yeah.
It looks so cute. If you watch the trailer, you'll see how cute it looks. But Elmo is hosting his own talk show, and he's got Cookie Monster at his side, kind of like, I guess, his Andy Richter is Cookie Monster, which is fantastic to me. I think that's a great idea. But they've got guests coming on that they've already taped with John Mulaney, John Oliver, Blake Lively, Jimmy Fallon, the Jonas Brothers. So it should be a pretty good, wholesome time. So I recommend that, and I love Elmo. You're never too old or too young for Elmo, I think. So I think that'll be fun for everybody. And then I want to recommend the Studio Ghibli animated library because I was so jealous that everyone overseas got it on Netflix and we did not because they were holding it for HBO Max. So I can finally watch all of those movies. They have over 21 films that are going to be added to HBO Max. I recommend starting with My Neighbor Totoro, Spirited Away, and Kiki's Delivery Service if you don't know where to start. But if you're just a fan, just watch all of them because you can't go wrong. They're all good.
I'll start with Kiki. I haven't seen that one.
Yes. Kiki's so good. You're going to love it. And then there's quite a few Batman movies also. Some of the ones that we mentioned were the best ones on this very podcast that Timur mentioned. Mask of the Phantasm and The Dark Knight Returns are going to be on there. And also I want to shout out the Lego Batman movie that I didn't mention in that episode because that's also going to be available. And it's a really good movie. So
that's great.
Watch all the Batman movies and have fun. So
hell yeah.
That's what I recommend. Greg, anything else you want to recommend?
Oh, well, okay, after Mama's Family? Not really, no. I also recommend... If you haven't seen it in a long time, I would say one of the greatest Westerns of all time is going to be on there, too, The Searchers. So John Ford's Searchers, so it's his best film.
I've never seen it.
So give that a shot if you haven't seen it before. You're going to watch and go, damn, I didn't know it was this... It's that good. It's one of the best Westerns you'll ever see. So that's all I'll say about that. It's incredible.
So if you want a full list of what's coming in June, we've got that on GameSpot for you. But there's plenty of like themed binge watching that you can do on HBO Max if you decide to get it. So let us know in the comments if you're thinking about getting it or if you've already started using it, what you think of it. That does it for this episode of You Should Be Watching. If you've got any questions, comments, or anything you want to talk to us about, reach out to us. You can do it over email at ysbw@gamespot.com. That's ysbw@gamespot.com. You can also listen to this very podcast if you're watching it right now. We're on Spotify, Google Play, Apple Podcasts, and Stitcher. If you're listening to us already, watch it on YouTube. That's youtube.com/GameSpotUniverse. Ryan and Greg, what do you guys have coming up?
Some more American Horror Story, don't we, Greg?
A lot more. Yes, we are starting. We're starting with Hotel, and we're gonna we will finally get to the season I've been waiting for, Roanoke. But for now, we're gonna do Hotel. I can't wait because I want to give it another shot. Anyways, I want to see it fresh, clear, and then we can just start breaking it down episode by episode and see how we feel about it this time around. I'm excited.
Yeah, I'm not going to say I planned it this way, but it's timed perfectly for Lady Gaga's new release of Chromatica. So listen to Chromatica and watch Hotel with us.
Rain on me.
Yeah.
Yes. All right.
It's so good. That video is so good. If you have not seen the new Lady Gaga Ariana Grande video,
Robert
it's directed
Rodriguez.
by Robert Rodriguez. Yep. It's really good. But that song is a banger. But yeah, this is not a music podcast, but just watch it anyway. And you can follow us on Twitter. I'm at Chastity_V. Ryan.
I'm at Ryan Eric P.
And Greg.
I'm at Greg Spot Thomas.
All right. And we'll see you guys next time. Thanks.
Bye, guys.
Bye.